Hi, everyone. Welcome to the podcast, High Risk for Heartbreak. I am your host, Christina, and I'm so glad you decided to join me today. For those of you who are new here, I pray you find value in at least one thing I say today. And to my old and faithful returning crew, you know just how much I appreciate you. Hit that like and subscribe button. Without further ado, let's relate. Back when I was about 24 years old, it became extremely important for me to home in on having a solid group of women relationships. Friends, mentors, teachers, family, you name it. I made it a point to generate, create, cultivate, love on, care for women around me, and that has not stopped. But as of late, it has become increasingly important for me to purposefully cultivate friendships, mentorships, acquaintanceships with men. For many women, the only men figures that they develop intimate relationships with are either their dad, brother, or a significant other. And it's a tale as old as time that men and women are unable to have platonic friendships, that they're unable to exist in a space without there needing to be some type of romantic involvement. But as we know, our friends and our mentors are part of our chosen family. And most of the time, we are not having romantic relationships with them, and hopefully not, right? So I think for a healthy balance, it really is good to have platonic male relationships, either in the form of an acquaintance, a friend, a mentor, or something like that. And the need for me has become increasingly important, especially because there isn't a romantic interest in my life. I need men around to invest in me, and I invest in a different way. There are people that can add so much value to your life outside of romance. And unfortunately, we don't see a ton of that applauded on social media. I think we're beginning to see a shift in how people even address relationships, because most people, when they say relationship, they're talking about romance. They're not talking about all the other styles. I think we are beginning to see a shift in that when I think about the conversations that are happening in my peer groups and beyond. However, I think in general, people are not investing in platonic other sex relationships. They're not investing in that in a way that it is possible. And maybe for many women and men, it actually hasn't been possible, so they don't believe in it, right? Now, whether you're in your single season purposefully or you are not necessarily in it by choice, but you are there waiting on that special man to come along, you have to get out there and build relationships with men. And I say this because I was someone who did not do that. I had I had male acquaintances, but none of them were ever intimately close unless they were gay, because that was a safe zone for me. Knowing that he was not going to try anything made me feel safe. So that I already had a very skewed view of the role that a man could play in my life platonically. That was not my father or my brother, okay, or my coach or mentor or therapist. Right? Or mechanic, okay? And I know for many of us, it's not that easy to do that, to go out and build a relationship with someone that in most cases, there was some kind of waiting in the wings situation, or he was trying to be romantically involved, was waiting around, right? It's not that easy to just go and do that. It's not that easy to strike up a conversation with a stranger man, especially if you are introverted like me. And I know you guys probably don't think I am, but oh my goodness, I am. If I didn't push myself to go out and be ambivert, I would be inside all the time. But there's something in me that the Lord just wants me to have a bit more balance. Amen. Nonetheless, you have to be really intentional to speak to other people while also protecting your peace, so that you can build relationships that are going to be conducive to your future life and add to your joy. And for much of my life, I have definitely prided myself in being, the quietest one in the room of extroverts, which always come to me, okay? I don't have to do the work, because they will do the work. The extroverts will come into your space. And I prided myself on being able to walk into rooms where I am uncomfortable, and someone inevitably will come and speak to me. And I realize that only works for a short period of time until God is purposing you to go and get something. And then you got to do the talking. A lot of those relationships where those introverts did approach me did actually turn into deeper connections, but I still didn't assert new relationships like them, especially with men. I think there was a fear of rejection. I had a lack of discernment of their spirits. Like, I can discern spirits with women, but not so much with men. I've had a really interesting time with that. Also, there's kind of like this contentment and solitude where you feel like, well, I'm every woman anyway. I've been by myself all this time. I don't need that. There's this contentment in that solitude and that hyper independence that you don't even invite men into your small tribe because who needs them? I see rhetoric every day on social media where people are like, I hate men. Why do they exist? I would live on a world without them. I don't personally share those feelings, but I do understand why some women do. I get it. It's very valid to not want to cultivate relationships with men when all you've had is bad ones. It's hard to see beyond the bad. But I can tell you that it doesn't take a close friend, an intimate friend, to add to the joy that you are looking for in your life. You maybe don't have to make these men your best friend. Okay, you don't have to give them your social security number or make them a beneficiary on your 401k. It doesn't have to be that serious. But to be able to have a man to go to and bounce some ideas off of, to get some direction or redirection from in your financial and your career, to be able to talk to him maybe about someone that you're dating, to help you vet in your dating, that could be very valuable. Add one of these friends, and he can be on the outskirts. He doesn't need to be, like I said, the closest person to you, but you have a good rapport and you have trust and you have a commonality there and you are able to give back to him and invest back in him. I think that's important. That type of connection can really serve you in such a great way. And it can turn into a deep connection if you allow it. And it makes me think about, now this is not man to woman, but this example where Ruth and Naomi, in the book of Ruth, where, you know, they've both lost their husbands, and the other sister-in-law lost her husband. And Naomi says to them to go back to your hometowns, go back and find a husband because my sons are gone and my husband is gone. And what am I to you, basically? And Naomi stays and she says, don't urge me to leave you or to turn back from you. Where you go, I will go. Where you stay, I will stay, because your people are my people and your God is my God. Where you die, I die. And where you will be buried, so will I. So may the Lord deal with me harshly and severely if death separates me from you. You don't know how those outskirt relationships with male counterparts can develop into the closest intimate relationships that you have with men, and how that devotion and that stick-to-itness until the end of time could be there for you, because you don't know it because you're not even willing to be open to actually going out and speaking to a man. And I really am talking to myself as well. I have been through this up until recently. The only man that could be in my life close to me like that is my romantic partner. But what happens when they're not around? Do you have anyone to fill those spaces? Do you have someone to be able to break out the tools when you're broken down on the side of the road and help you? Do you have that man that can say to you, hey, Christina, I think, you might be looking at this wrong. What he was expressing is X, Y, and Z. Like, you're safe. You understand that I will protect you. I'll never mislead you. I'll never mislead you as your male friend. I think you might be looking at this wrong. Give him this chance. Say this thing to him. He might be able to actually help you through those things. Anyway, nonetheless, this is not about having a man in your life to help you into romantic relationships with men. It's not actually about this. It's about being able to allow God to deliver to you people that he wants to use to help you to joy. And when you thwart that and you stop that because of the lack of vulnerability or fear of vulnerability, past situations that have scarred you. And I understand, I get it. Trust me. You guys have no idea the amount of things that I've been through at the hands of men. Not even romantic. But we can't allow that to stop us from what God is calling us to. And that is to have a heart like Jesus. That heart is vulnerable. It's exposed. It's raw. But it's capable. It's accomplishing. It's intimate. It's kind. It's detailed. It's close. Don't let yourself end up in this space where you are looking for the perfect relationship to be delivered only through romance, and that you don't see the abundance that companionship can provide you through non-romance. You might find that you're leaning into the non-romantic opposite sex relationships, and they provide everything that you need to be ushered to a space of joy. It can happen. Not everybody's going to be married. Not everyone's going to have a romantic partner or someone to die with. But when you do arrive to your husband and he can't fill all those things, all those shoes that your girlfriends and your mentors and your spiritual advisors, etc., and that outskirts man did, you'll have him. You'll have that. You'll have that covering, if that makes sense. I hope this makes sense. I mean, you need to be kinder to yourself, sister. Start building other relationships, because they can provide you with a lifetime of companionship like Ruth and Naomi, Mary and Martha, Jonathan and David. I'm not giving you guys any examples of two opposite sex, sorry. But I do know it's possible because I've seen it and I've experienced it. It is part of loving yourself to invest in others. It's part of loving yourself to invest in those who can invest back in you. So don't forget to love yourself so that you can then go and love your neighbor. Until next time.